The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is weird.
He looks like Dylan Mulvaney with an STD.
Person's like opinions, actions, and like work literally cause death. So in the long run, we're really like reducing death, you know?
I am telling you right now, that is a civilization destroying belief.
Yeah.
Right? If you decide that words and speech are violence, and so you're justified to self-defense yourself against those with violence, with putting a bullet through someone's neck, you have a civil war. Hey guys, welcome back to another Normal Gays video where we take on LGBT insanity. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson Lawson.
Hey guys.
Still a little bit somber today. Obviously, everybody is still kind of in shock about Charlie Kirk and his horrific murder. But some of the alphabet people are not in shock or sorrow at all. They are pretty much happy about it and gloating about it.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of like it's just been a weird day. Like, obviously I didn't know Charlie or anything, but it's just weird thinking, I don't know. I've lost a lot of faith in humanity over the last 24 hours.
It hits home because like, it could be us, you know? If it's okay to just kill people who they're all they've done, whether you agree with them or not, just say their opinions professionally. He's not even a policymaker, a CEO, anything. It's terrifying, honestly. I'm afraid to do a campus event ever again.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're okay with him getting murdered, they're okay with us. Clearly,
yeah. Just, I mean, we're more moderate than him, sure, but in their minds, we're all fascists. Like, it's really disturbing. And again, it's this radicalism from a certain sect in the transgender movement. So, you know, James is smiling, the trans activist on TikTok with like 500,000 followers. Yeah. One of the worst people on the internet. Timu Dylan Mulvaney. But like
Dylan Mulvaney,
without even the
stronger jawline,
much stronger jawline, and without the like niceness, or like at least Dylan, whatever you think of Dylan, is like tries to be a nice, fun person. James does not. Let's watch his video. And no, I will not be using they, them pronouns for this person.
He looks like Dylan Mulvaney with an STD. Sorry.
Oh!
Sorry.
We're
gonna take a break.
Oh boy.
Sorry, it's been a long day. All right, let's just watch the video. He does though.
We're gonna get it back together.
The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is weird. There seems to be this weird emphasis on taking the moral high ground, and that you are somehow a better person if you're like, I feel bad for his family.
Yeah.
This is the world he wanted and the world he was building. This is a white supremacist who wanted both of us dead. He was shot in the middle of saying something transphobic about trans people, and yet you want to have sympathy for him. You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless. Where is this sympathy for Palestinians, for the Sudanese people, for the Congolese, for the black people in America that are killed at the hands of police violence, for the black trans women that are being murdered for simply existing? Why does this sympathy extend to a white supremacist, but not to the communities that actually need your care? I think that people are afraid they're going to lose a part of their humanity if they don't have sympathy for somebody who is a victim of gun violence.
Yeah.
When in reality, you're losing your humanity by allowing fascists to define your sympathy for you. While you're busy having a moral dilemma, they win. I think it's admirable to want to find the best in people and to want to continue to have sympathy for those who experience something tragic. This is the world that man wanted to live in, and while he's dead, there's a lot of folks that need that care and sympathy that are still alive.
I don't even...
Where to begin with this one? First and foremost, this idea that, well, why are you feeling sympathy for Charlie Kirk when the Congo, the Sudanese, many sad things can be happening at once.
Right.
And of course it is natural that people are going to pay more attention to what's happening in their own country, first of all, with people they personally have grown attached to.
Right.
And like,
whether it's parasocial or
maybe it is, but
not,
it's human.
It's still a human reaction. People react to what relates to them. So when it comes to this, they see themselves in Charlie Kirk. That's why it has such a reaction, because he wasn't this radical fascist. And that's the craziest thing. It's like they're jumping through hoops to dehumanize him just so they can satisfy their bloodlust.
Yeah, I mean, they think anybody to the right of Barack Obama is a fascist. So To be clear, I think he had some very right-wing takes. He definitely became more extreme over the years. But what I always respected about him was his commitment to debate and dialogue and discourse. He did not want people dead. That's not a thing.
No.
Like, that's just silly. He didn't want trans people dead. He did not agree with being trans. He didn't think you could change your gender or whatever. Newsflash, whether you like it or not, that's a fairly commonly held perspective, and you're going to have to grapple with it. And it doesn't mean that they all want you dead.
No. Which we shouldn't even have to explain that. Like, it's very to jump from, oh, he doesn't agree with the bathroom I use or XYZ or women's sports or whatever it might be, to he wants me dead is such a leap that it's crazy we even have to say, wait, that's not true. He didn't want you dead. Like, no fucking shit, he didn't want you dead. He wasn't out here saying, let's shoot a bunch of transgender people.
No, he was not. But, you know, I would actually say that even if he was, it wouldn't be okay to murder him in cold blood in extrajudicial fashion. Like, that's the thing that even he wasn't. I want to be clear. They don't accurately characterize his views. But even then, you can't just murder people because they're extremists.
And half of these people claim to be against the death penalty. Like that. I'm not kidding. It's like, okay.
We're against gun violence, against the death penalty. No human being is illegal. But like, yeah, it's okay to murk people, to snipe them because you don't like the words they say. But they're the fascists. You're totally not fascist at all.
Yeah. I would like to give James is Smiling a mirror, not only so he can see the fascist that he's looking at, but also see his 5 o'clock shadow that is showing to all of us.
It doesn't matter. He can have as much facial hair as he wants, and he's still a woman.
Oh, is he non-binary?
Well, he's a they/she. So I think he depends.
So he's anything but what? Sorry, I'm being mean. Anything but what he actually is,
which is just a monster.
Normally, I don't.
Just a bad person.
Honestly, yeah. Normally, I'll respect pronouns, but in this case, if you're that type of like murderous type of person, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
honestly.
Completely agree. Let me read a couple comments here. I think these people think sympathy makes them good when really it reveals them as people who cannot be trusted because they will always prioritize nice appearances over all else. James said really well said to that.
That's ironic considering most people will call you the right pronouns just so they can look nice when they really don't think that you're a woman.
True. And also, yes, I think expressing sympathy for murder victims does make you a good person. And not having sympathy for the guy that was just murdered in front of his children does actually make you a worse person. Like,
not everything is relative.
Yeah. It's not just prioritizing nice appearances. It's prioritizing not murdering people. That's all we're talking about here. And they're acting like we are, I don't know, we're the crazy ones.
The semantics don't matter. Somebody got murdered for expressing differing views. If you either support it and try to justify it with mental gymnastics or you don't. It's honestly, it's really simple.
And there's no logic where this is actually fine and no big deal that could not be used to justify killing the creators that they like.
Right.
Which I would never support. I'm against all political violence. Oh, he spews hate speech. Oh, he's a threat to America. Oh, he's against my rights. Yeah, a lot of right-wing people can view all sorts of left-wing views in a similar way. Oh, they're pushing for the slaughter of the unborn.
Right.
Oh, they're pushing to make women unsafe with trans policies. Oh, they're pushing to destroy America as we know it. Well, if you decide that this kind of intense disagreement is justification for violence, they will, if those are the rules, that is a toxic playbook.
Well, yeah, and it can come back and bite you in the ass. Like, this is something that we have agreed upon in America, to have civil discussion, because we all agreed that it facilitates a better society. And if we start throwing that playbook out, it's not something that, like, even if you hate Charlie Kirk, or even if you don't even like feel anything when you see that video, which I think you're probably a sociopath, but even if you don't, this should still be a worrisome situation for you, considering the precedent that it sets.
Absolutely. And what comes next? You already see some far right people.
I got a death threat from MAGA last night because they thought I was against Charlie Kirk. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that was crazy.
I know. He said he's going to kill me and my family. I'm like,
and then he realized and sent you another update. Was like, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought that you were against Charlie Kirk. My apologies. I'm like, all good, bro.
Not
like, you just threatened to kill my whole family. I reported it to the FBI.
Yeah, as you should. But so this is this is the next comment here. Taking the moral high ground is literally the main problem with the Democratic Party and will be their downfall. Apparently, the main problem with the Democratic Party is that their elected officials are against cold-blooded murder of their political opponents. Actually, I think that's like a basic redeemable quality that I'm glad, because Obama, Kamala, all these people, Biden, have put out statements saying they denounce this.
A lot of my Democrat followers also denounced it.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
a lot of online crazy lefties love murder and are violent, and I think it's a rising thing with the progressive movement, but a lot of normal Democrats don't support this. But apparently that's what's bad about the Democratic Party.
But like, why do we no longer strive for the moral high ground for our own like satisfaction? Is achieving moral high ground just because we want to win political points, or are we actually striving to be a better species? Because that's my question.
Yeah.
It's like, does any side actually want to become better, or do we just want to win?
No, this is when I argue with right-wing people who want to like tear up the First Amendment to go after the left or whatever. And it's like,
Right.
like, no, if you, in order to win the fight, have to become the thing you're fighting against, then you've still lost.
Nobody wins.
Right.
What are you even fighting for at that point?
Well, let's watch another video. This one from Griffin Maxwell Brooks.
Oh my God, I hate him too. Ugh.
Another, I think, alleged non-binary TikTok influencer. This video has 117,000 likes of dismissing the murder of Charlie Kirk. Well, let's watch this.
Every time like a famously evil person passes away, there's like a side of the internet that celebrates, and then there's a side of the internet that's like, I'm a liberal and I agree that this person was really bad and terrible, but like we shouldn't be wishing for death at all.
Yeah.
You know, we should never be celebrating death. And then I feel like the regular sane side of the internet is like, girl, like, what are you talking about? This person's like opinions, actions, and like work literally cause death. So in the long run, we're really like reducing death, you know? And then everyone always makes the comparison to the mustache man. They're like, did the mustache man deserve to die? Did people celebrate when he died? And they're like, well, yeah, well, that's different. I'm like, is it different?
Yes.
Or is it only different to you because that's the only example you can possibly justify because of how atrocious he was and also how long ago it was? My point is, it's good when some people die. I don't think it's that bold of a take, and I think that if you are like trying to be like utilitarian pacifist about it and basically saying that like we don't want anyone ever to die, then you are dumb, stupid, and sort of willfully ignorant to the reality of the world in which there are like 3 concurrent genocides happening, and like there are people at the helm of those genocides, and people like, you know, someone who may or may not have died today, who are sort of like adjacent to the cause of those genocides, who like in the grand scheme of things, their deaths will probably prevent more deaths than saving their lives would have saved, because that's one life.
No.
No, narrator. It does not, in fact, make sense. You're actually just evil and demonic and disgusting inside and out.
I don't really have words for it anymore.
I have many words. Charlie Kirk is not remotely comparable to Hitler. Hitler killed millions of people. Charlie Kirk said opinions about political issues. Those aren't the same thing.
I can't believe we have to explain that. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just such simple discourse that I feel like we have reached a level of low intellect in this country that frankly is irredeemable.
And how many people like that? Hundreds of thousands, I think?
Hundreds of thousands of people really think that Charlie Kirk is genuinely comparable
to Hitler. Because he what? Thinks trans women are men?
You can't use the
Is
same
pro-life?
bathroom as women.
Like,
he doesn't want you to use the same bathroom. He doesn't want you to change. Look, what is it? Is it actually the legislation that he supported, or is it the idea of an evil man that you've created in your head that you want to see?
And it's actually it's more terrifying than that. What not James, I'm getting my non-binary deranged people confused. What Griffin here is suggesting is that Charlie Kirk's speech and ideas are the same thing as violence. Even though Charlie Kirk never committed any violence, his words are a form of violence. So therefore, it's basically fine to meet violence with violence. I am telling you right now, that is a civilization-destroying belief.
Yeah.
Right? If you decide that words and speech are violence, and so you're justified to self-defense yourself against those with violence, with putting a bullet through someone's neck, you have a civil war. You don't have a liberal democracy where people hash their differences out, through the democratic process and through debate. You have a civil war. I don't want to share a country with these people.
And the thing is like their idea is not entirely wrong in that if somebody is evil, like let's say Hitler, and violence is necessary to stop suffering, I think morally that's justified. But the problem here is that they are so radicalized with their own identity and belief system that they genuinely think that these figures are as bad as somebody like Hitler.
Right. And also, the prerequisite for that moral calculus is that Hitler was killing people.
Right.
Hitler wasn't just saying mean things.
He wasn't saying, hey, let's debate.
He wasn't saying, you're a man to a
Right.
trans woman. Like,
No.
he wasn't saying, sit down and debate me, bro. He was putting people in gas chambers. Like, these are not comparable.
They're like 21st century problems with like 18th century solutions, right? We're meeting these privileged problems, like hurting my feelings with the violence of humanity in the past. And it's so backwards to see people so willingly be okay with it.
And these people are, I mean, they're not representative of your average LGBT person, but they're pretty vocal, pretty large activist types. And there is that strain of radical, violent, revolutionary thought that's infiltrated and hijacked this movement and this community. And I want absolutely nothing to do with it.
I don't see how you can't see that your rhetoric is going to cause much more violence than Charlie Kirk's.
Also, the idea that Charlie being killed is going to lead to less death. God, I hope that it doesn't. I think it will lead to more.
I can't see any way that this is good for the country at all.
But they don't want that. I think these kinds of people really like actually would burn America down and build up their new utopia.
They're
or whatever.
revolutionaries. They need to find purpose, and they find it in destruction rather than creating something. That's why the left they destroy themselves before they ever work on the right. They just like to see things burn. They don't care what happens after.
All right, guys, let us know what you think of these crazy people. We're not fans.
No.
We'll leave it at that. But let us know what you think. Make sure you're subscribed. If you aren't yet, hit that like button. Honestly, our thoughts are with Charlie's family and loved ones. Really sad stuff. And we'll be back with more normal gays content real soon.